Facebook.
Are we
Welcome.
on?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see what happens.
So today, this one is going to be doing the cooking because
it's his birthday.
Birthday. I don't see it on here. What am I supposed to do? Oh, there I am.
Share.
You're going to share?
Well, we both should share.
Oh.
We don't do that. It's very loud. Just hit share.
Share.
And then share now.
Yay! So he's teaching me new things all the time. And today I'm going to teach him some new things.
Yes.
So
you can click on this, and then it'll start to show you. Oh.
There.
You pulled a Marc. Hey,
Sarah. Sarah's on. Hey, Sarah.
I'm going to get off my phone since I am chefing tonight.
Yes. And he's going to be doing the cooking tonight. So, yay.
He will only be judging mentally. He will not, like, outwardly mention it.
So while we're waiting for some people to come on, I will let you kind of hold this for a little bit, because I wanted to talk about some pots and pans. We talked about pots and pans on my first episode, and I had somebody call, email me, or text me, or whatever it was. Hey, Jen. Earlier this morning, and they said, hey, I was watching your show, and you talked about pots and pans, and you talked about how your favorite was copper, and then the second being stainless steel, and the third being aluminum, but I didn't mention anything about cast iron and enamel-coated cast iron. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So let me clarify, when we talk stainless steel is actually the worst heat conductor, but the best for when it comes to holding heat. Does that make sense? Aluminum.
Like spreading the heat out, you mean? Like evenly?
Yes.
Okay.
So there needs to be a combination in a stainless steel pan of aluminum and stainless steel. Stainless steel being on the outside, and then a core. And I say to look for a multi-clad pan. In this case, it's a brand name called All-Clad, but you don't necessarily need to buy the brand All-Clad. There's many multi-clad pans out there in different brands. But an all stainless steel pan, and inside the stainless steel is going to be multiple different kinds of metal, and in this case, anodized aluminum.
Julie Harshfield says, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. But somebody asked really more specifically about cast iron. So I've got a small cast iron pan here. Cast iron is amazing for handling really high intense heat. So when you want to sear meat, the best thing to do is using a cast iron pan. Using a cast iron pan in everyday cooking does increase the iron content in your body. So you're going to want to be careful with that, because it's not necessarily the most healthiest thing to do is consume that much iron. But cast iron is great for searing meat. Steaks, chicken, you name it, great for searing it. Handles really high intense heats, and then you can finish it off in the oven and everything. The enamel coated, obviously having an enamel coated cast iron, very expensive pan as well. Also, now you're not going to be getting the iron content in your food, so that's great. The problem with where the downfall comes to cast iron is the fact that cast iron is casted from several different metals. Melted down, and metal melts and recools at different temperature points. So you're going to have hot spots and cold spots in your pan. So it's really ideal for high intense heat, but not so ideal for just medium heat cooking something or sauteing some vegetables. So in my opinion, you really should have an arrangement of different kinds of cookware for the different things that you need to do.
He has now made a new list of pots and pans that he doesn't have that he needs. So.
That I want. Yeah.
That he wants.
Anyways, enamel coated is great for making sauces, anything that you want to, or like a Dutch oven type style. When you want to do a slow, long roast, it handles and holds on to the heat, can keep that heat for a long period of time, and can cook that sauce or do that roast really, really well, which is why enamel-coated cast iron is great, or any kind of cast iron is great for. holding on to heat for long periods of time, and so forth. But you don't get the precise heating temperature, like I said, when you're sauteing vegetables and stuff. So I just wanted to talk about that while people are logging on. So it looks like a lot of people have logged on.
A lot of happy
Susan,
birthdays.
thank you. Thank you for everybody. Thank you so much for your happy birthday wishes.
You made his day.
You all have made my day. It's so great to hear from everybody. So today, because it's my birthday, I've decided that this one over here is going to do the cooking. He's a little nervous, but it's okay. Like I said to him, I said, this is a cooking class where we're doing this in real time. We're doing this in real time for a very good reason, because there's not a lot of classes out there or shows out there where you can actually cook alongside people. And I know that even myself, I've been chopping onions and mushrooms and what have you and cooking for so long that I forget, and I think that this is what I'm doing is really simple. And Marc reminds me, wait, you need to slow down, because this isn't, this isn't everybody able to cook the same way. So this will be a fun test and a fun thing for us to do, to have him cook for me. Although I'm still going to instruct him, and I'm going to try very hard not to just grab the knife out of his hand and take over. So that's going to be a challenge.
Play a fun game. Every time he does it, you should take a sip of your wine.
I'm not going to do it.
I know. I think you're going to be pretty good.
Yeah?
I think
we're going to see.
We'll see.
We'll
we
see.
did a test run. Oh, so starting off, so we like to do test runs usually on Monday, but we...
Hey, Mama Crow.
With all the storms and stuff, we actually lost power. So
Tina, hi.
So our test run was last night. And so, that being said, there are many reasons why my husband and I are extremely compatible, but one that stuck out in my head this week was after I did the little preview snippet about what we were going to do and how we we're going to do it this way. My husband's not the best speller. Apparently I can't read, because I was looking at Alison Roman's recipe like so many times, and I looked at it, and I kept saying it's Tiny Salty Chocolatey Cookies. No, it's Tiny. Tiny. Salty Chocolatey Cookies. So,
is this yours?
apologies, that is yours.
Okay, thank you.
So, yes, so we did our little dry run. Cheers, happy birthday.
Cheers, thank you. Oh, and thank you, Mama Crow, for saying happy birthday.
So some of the things that we...
Brenda, hi, how are you?
Some of the things we found through the test run is that
Marc will be great. Marc will be great.
We'll see. The chocolate cookie recipe asks for you to make a brown butter. So we're actually going to start with that first, because it does really need to cool down, because we found that once we scooped the cookies and put them in the oven, they all sort of kind of came into one big brownie, I guess. So I think we're going to start with browning the butter, right?
And
then we'll walk through
and then we'll get
risotto.
into the risotto. Yeah.
Do we want to talk about the ingredients in the risotto first?
So yeah, let's talk about the ingredients real quick. So in risotto, today we're making enough risotto to be about 4 to 6 people. Okay. But we're going to be and then we're going to, after making the cookies, we're going to do a white wine poached salmon. To go with our risotto. We're only doing 2 fillets of salmon, and so our recipe is a little bit short on that, and so we'll talk about when we get to the salmon. It's a half a cup of white wine per fillet, so you can easily increase as you go. So in this case, we're making enough risotto for 4 to 6 people. It's a classic risotto, so all that is onions, risotto rice, which is in some grocery stores they might call it risotto rice. It's Arborio rice. It's spelled with an A. I don't ask me how to spell the rest of it.
Arborro.
There you go.
Ohio. Sorry. Anyway.
Arborio rice. The reason why we use Arborio rice is because it's the highest starch content in each granule of any of the rices. You can use any rice you want. It just won't come out as thick, as creamy looking or starchy as the risotto should be. But it still has that same great flavor profile. It'll just be a little looser of a risotto. So in this case, we're using Arborio, which is what the Italians use. And then at the very end, we'll finish it off with a little Romano cheese. A risotto is awesome because it's so flexible, and you can make it however you can add to this. This is just a basic risotto. And then you can do risotto with mushrooms and with
asparagus,
and I do a nice, really fall one sometimes where I put in apples and blue cheese.
Oh yeah, it's really good. Well, not blue cheese. You're not the biggest blue cheese fan.
but it's really good with the apples. And then a little maple syrup to drizzle over the top of it at the end, and it's a great fall dish. And then herb-wise, very classic. We're just doing a rosemary, thyme, and some parsley. Okay.
All right, so start with doing our brown butter.
We're going to start with some brown butter for the chocolate cookies.
For the chocolate cookies.
Yes. Carolyn, hi, how are you? And thank you for the happy birthday.
And the happy hour yesterday, that was fun.
My sister was asking how old I am. That's a very rude question to ask, and we're never going to answer that. I'm old. My mom's on the line. Hi. And Jason, hi.
Do I get to choose my spoon for the risotto?
You can choose. That's from Leela. Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing I should do is dice the onion, right?
Yeah, we're going to start out by dicing some onion, and then we'll get warm up the butter and the olive oil, or the vegetable oil. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So here comes test 1 for Brian in my chopping skills. We'll see how this goes.
So you can chop an onion however you want. In my opinion, the best way to chop an onion is to, where the rings are like this, you're going to chop against that first, and then you're going to dice it this way. If you just wanted strips of onion, you would just leave it this way.
Okay. So I'm just going to go very...
So I'm going to just do a little instruction.
Everybody take a sip.
Because he's left-handed, so this drives me crazy too. But because you want like little thin strips, so you're going to actually come in at this angle and work your way around with the knife, just like follow the grain, right? Because with this, now you've got this big chunk, right? So you're not going to get like little dices.
Okay. So,
hey, Mara.
So you want me to do what?
So you're going to come in at an angle.
Okay.
And you're going to like make little thin slices and follow the grain. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He scolded me on this yesterday.
You can slowly start keeping your knife as you follow, because you're going to go around. So straighten up your knife. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, you're good. That's good. See? Perfect. You're doing great.
I'm going to turn this around. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Jamie, how are you?
It's weird not looking
Tina, how are you?
at comments. So now when it gets like this...
Tina says this is so much fun.
As long as everyone's having fun. So now when it starts getting like this, that's where I get nervous.
I know. So I wouldn't have turned it around, but that's fine. You did, and we're going to just keep going. So just... No, that's fine. Keep. Just hold on to it like this. Hold on to it. There you go. Get a nice firm. Careful of your thumb.
Yep.
Yep. Brianna, I'm encouraged at how Marc is chopping versus how good dishes and Marc before. It makes me feel more capable. Good. Yes.
So the thing with
Marc's doing great.
I'm trying. So the thing with the butter is you want it to start to get a nice little froth going.
Mm-hmm. Jean Oliveira.
Hey, Jean.
Jamie Edwards says, Briggs says, it's good to see you again. Aww.
Okay, so from here, I did my first show ever with Jean Oliveira. Beautiful voice.
Okay, so we're gonna make a little dice. So now you're just gonna chop it that way. Sisters are supposed to pick on their brothers. Really? Aren't we too old to be picking on our brothers and sisters? I don't pick on you, do I? Maybe.
Brenda.
How much butter? So we're browning 6 tablespoons of butter for the chocolate cookies.
How does it look, anything?
It's frothy, but now it's going to start to brown a little bit. Once it starts to brown, we're going to take it off the heat. Okay. Remember what I taught you yesterday?
You did. Or, I mean, I do, because you did teach me something yesterday. That I want to pull it in, right?
Yeah. Okay. So you, yep. Just kind of make it a sweep.
Like that. I hope everyone else is done with their onion.
Your mom is a little nervous with you having a knife. I'm sure everybody's done chopping their onion by now. This is going to be a really long show, people.
Hey. I feel like somebody's got to still be chopping onion. Everyone's like, no, we're done.
We're done.
We've been done for a while.
No, you're good. You're doing good. Look at that. You're just
I haven't been
cruising along.
following your classes. I've just been talking on them. I feel like yesterday it was a little bit easy. I did a little better.
Okay, so we're going to stop in a second, and you're going to clear. So as you're chopping, clear your space so that what's done is over here, and that way you can kind of draw this close to you. Yep, look at that. See, when you draw that close to you, you get that nice. Everything lines up. Nancy already brought hers chopped. He asked me to buy her chopped, but I wanted him to do that. So this is good. Tina says she's already eating dinner. She's like, this is taking so long. She's just done.
She's like, it was real good.
All right. You know what? And what's great about this dish is if it's not perfectly chopped, it's out there. No, that looks good. Okay. All right. So now your butter's looking a little brown. See how you got that nice little brown ring on there, and everything's starting to brown a little bit. All right. Perfect. You're going to put that in this little bowl and set that aside so it'll cool. Perfect. You probably can't see it from here, but it just started to brown just a little bit as he took it off there. So we're going to set that aside to cool.
And then I'm going to start.
You're going to put 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil and 3 tablespoons of butter into the pan. The question yesterday was asked of me, like, why mixing oil and butter together? Because butter cooks at a much lower temperature and would burn before we're ready to, and we want to raise the temperature. It's just like putting salt in water that raises the boiling temperature a little bit. Adding olive oil or vegetable oil to the butter is just going to raise and protect the butter from just burning while we're trying to cook things. So we're going to melt that down in the pan. Look at that.
I'm like a regular Jamie Oliver.
Ryan McCarthy's on. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
Oh, Mara said she was waving to us as she was walking by.
Oh.
Joe is watching. Awesome. Yep. Joe, hi. Oh, thank you. Gina said that our kitchen was beautiful. Thank you very much.
Who did?
Jean.
Oh, Jean. Oh, thanks, Jean.
Yeah.
We wanted to warm this, right?
We're going to, throw that on just a really low temperature. So we have 5 cups of chicken stock to our 2 cups of risotto rice, Arborio. And we're going to turn that on so that it's nice and warm, because the thing about risotto is, thank you, Ryan, for saying happy birthday. The thing about risotto, the history is, this is the story.
You're supposed to start with this. We dropped the ball, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. It's believed that Italian mothers created this dish to keep their children busy in the kitchen. And that's what's fun about it, is because a lot of times you'll see a recipe that says stir occasionally, and you asked me one time, what does it mean? Do I stir too much?
Because I feel like I always do.
In this recipe, you can't stir enough. Like, you're constantly needing to be stirring this dish, because you're adding just a little bit of liquid to the rice on an ongoing basis, just a little bit at a time. So we're going to start out by sauteing down the onion.
Okay, to add it now, you think? Okay.
Aubriana said, what plant is in your background of your window? These are azaleas from our yard. So I just clipped off some azalea and put it in a vase. So thank you.
Brian spent his birthday in the yard today.
I did spend my birthday in the yard today.
Very nice.
Doing a lot of gardening. Anyway, so we're going to saute down some onion, and then we're going to add the rice. Risotto loosely translates in Italian to roasted rice. So we're going to put a little brown toastiness on the rice. That gives it a little nutty flavor when we're cooking it. So we're going to start out by sauteing down the onion a little bit, get that warm. warming up the chicken stock. Because if you have cold chicken stock going into this, all it does is it's not a big deal really, except for it takes that much longer to cook. Because every time you add a ladle of chicken stock that's cold, it reduces the temperature, and then you got to bring it back up to a simmer, and then every time you do that, it just slows it. So it takes, instead of 45 minutes, it's going to take over an hour or more to cook your risotto. So that's why we're going to do it that way.
Looking like it's probably going to take that long tonight.
What?
I'm back on track. We're good. That onion, that pesky onion, it took a lot out of me.
No more chopping. Well, there's some herbs.
And there's one more in the next dish too.
Oh, and there's some onion in there. But that one's easier because it's just slices.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. All right. So that's looking like a little like sauteed down.
Because the redness is starting to turn like more of a light.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And again, you can use any onion you want. A red onion has a sweet tanginess to it, and that's why I like using that in risotto. But if you want a yellow onion, which has more pungency or so forth, more onion flavor, it's going to stand through, you can do that too.
We ready to add that?
We're going to add some rice. Let's do it.
Toss some rice.
Just toss that in there. And with a wooden spoon, we're going to give that a little stir.
Just let the oil sort of coat it evenly.
Yep, you're going to coat, all the butter and oil is going to just coat that rice evenly. And you're going to kind of give that a little stir, so that, beautiful, so that we're going to give it a little toast to it. Not too toasty, just a little tiny toast. All right? So,
okay.
Perfect.
Let that sit for a minute.
Well, while that's working, let's chop some herbs.
Okay. So, I think I remember from you talking about this last week when you did the herbs, that this one you just sort of take it and pull back, or is that the different one? That was thyme? No.
That's
okay.
Yep, you're right. Brenda says you're looking great.
Thanks. I did it wrong.
The other way. Yep. So, so with this, you're gonna take off the little individual things.
Okay.
There's a nice soft side to it, and that part's just gonna pick off, right? But everything else is more thicker stems. You don't want the thick, heavy stems, right? So you just want the leaves off of it.
So I grab it from the base of the leaf or the front of the leaf.
From wherever it's thicker, yep. And then you're just going to pull off. This one's soft anyway, so it's fine. That's good. That's fine. No, see, now this is all really soft. So just pull back.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice.
And you strip all the leaves off.
That's real easy.
And then you have just left.
Look what I did. I mean, it's like, I wasn't even doing it.
And the same thing with rosemary.
Okay.
The very end is really soft, but where it gets really woody is where you don't want that. So you're just going to pull back.
Nice.
And all you got is the rosemary leaves, and you're left with a twig.
Okay. So feel where it gets woody.
Yeah, look at that.
Hey, nailed that one.
You did. Good job.
Okay.
About how much of the herbs? We're doing about a total of 2 tablespoons of herbs, of the 3 herbs. And again, it's really your flavor profile preference. If you want, I love rosemary, so we're going a little heavier in the rosemary than we are with the thyme.
A little stirry.
Yeah, give that a stir. Excuse me. Just starting to toast a little bit. We're going to give that a little bit more of a toast.
Okay. And so we're just going to finely chop this?
Yeah, we're going to add a little parsley to it. Just grab a little handful off. Bigger. Little handful.
Well, I have little hands like that.
You have little hands. That's good. Okay. If there's any large, heavier
like
twig part, just pull that off. Yep. And throw that away. Cool.
Okay.
Need some water is what I need. Do you want some water?
Thanks, Nicole.
What
She
did
said
Nicole say?
Nicole said my stirring skills are wonderful. Thanks, girl. I mean, it ain't gonna stir itself, you know.
Alright. Alright, let's give that a little stir again.
Okay. How's that?
That looks great. We're going to put that into a little dish.
Alright, looks like we're starting to get a nice little toast going.
Yep, so now we're going to start adding some chicken stock. So for those of you who are, I don't know if you can see this online or not, but some of the rice is starting to look a little toasted. It's still pretty white, but there's several pieces in there that are toasted. And that's perfect. That's exactly what you want to see. So we're going to add some chicken stock to this. If you want to make this vegetarian, you absolutely can with a vegetable stock. And we're going to give another, we're going to put, just start, we're going to put in two. You want a nice, just right across the top of the rice.
I thought I remembered I stirred it first, sorry.
That's fine. One more.
One more?
Yeah, you just want to, just grazing the top of the rice. Beautiful. And then as that starts to cook down, we're going to slowly continue to add a little bit more, but we're going to also continue to stir this constantly throughout. In the meantime, let's put some herbs into our dish, and we're going to set that all aside. And we're going to finish with the herbs and the cheese after the risotto is ready.
Because I think I heard dried herbs you would go ahead and add so they can hydrate, but fresh herbs you always
Alfio's watching. Hi.
Oh, James Leslie. Hey, honey, May.
And Kelsey's watching.
Hey, Kelsey Jan. My brother's on.
Yep. Brandon. Hi.
Actually, should I just put this with... Oh, I think I heard Mara.
You can just set it right there.
I think I heard her say hi.
Alright, so now, you want to wash your knife?
Yes.
While that is cooking, we're going to make some cookies. Right?
Yes.
Yay! Now, these aren't your typical cookie. There is no flour in these cookies. They do get really thin. If you love the crispy edges of chocolate brownies, this is a recipe for you. This is from Alison Roman, and it's in her cookbook called Nothing Fancy, who Marc is completely obsessed with the woman.
She liked my picture of the potato kugel on our Instagram page.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited.
Oh, Mara said she was heading by again.
I heard her. See, we heard her. I think she...
Daniel Gonzalez is watching. Hi, Daniel. So who's doing the dishes?
I always do the dishes.
I'll do the dishes this time. Well, actually, it's my birthday, so he's doing the dishes.
So, again, I'm doing the dishes. Yeah.
So yeah, if you like the crispy edges of a brownie, this is a recipe for you because they're going to get thin and they're going to get like chewy, gooey, little crispy, like a brownie does. So we're going to start out with, so we have our little brown butter that we've set aside and hopefully is chilling down a little bit. That's fine. And then...
oh, we are the boys.
Yeah, no, it's not me. So we're going to add in, so this is, what is this?
2.5 cups of powdered sugar to 3/4 cup of cocoa powder.
Yep.
I'm just going to whisk that in. Oh, and the salt. And then we have a teaspoon of kosher salt.
Fantastic.
And oh, it's time to add some more liquid.
Yes. Keep an eye on your risotto the whole time. Look at that. Give it a stir.
Oh, you know why? Because I never turned it on low. Make sure your burner's on low.
Yes, your burner.
I did not do that. Sorry.
Low, slow simmer.
That is completely my apologies on that. I was like, why am I boiling so much?
Yes, just a nice low simmer.
Apologies. Okay. So you can sift, or she also recommends that you can just kind of run a whisk through it, just to any clumpy bits, just sort of clean that out.
Brianna says Marc's got perfect risotto senses.
working on them. Okay. So now we're going to do our wet ingredients. And I had a...
Yes, we're just going to dump them right in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it calls for 2 egg whites and 1 whole egg.
Susan says, good job.
Thanks, girl. We'll see if I'm as good at separating this time around. I did pretty good yesterday. The only tip was make sure you get as much of the white as possible. He was getting a little judgy about my yolking.
You're yolking. There's no yolks about it?
There's no yolks about it. You're a mess.
That was bad.
That was... Oh, that was a good one. And then, I need a little fork. Oh, I got the little whisk. I can use a little whisk.
According to Alison Roman, you can just dump this all in there and it'll work itself out.
Okay. Yeah, excellent. What did I do with my... Oh, you got it. You're not the one cooking. I need the... All right.
The yolk's on Marc. Thanks, Joe. That was a good one.
All right, so I'm going to add this in, and then...
2 egg whites, 1 full egg.
I may ask you to mix it, if you don't mind.
Rebecca Tomlin. Tomlinson. Sorry, I can't read. Mold. Is watching, so hi.
And then do you want to give this a stir for me?
Yeah, I can stir that for you.
I'm going to add just a little more of the chicken stock. It's starting to look a little yummy-licious.
Chip Wheelers is watching. Say hi.
Hi, Chip. You're back in Palm Springs through all of this, correct? That is looking amazing, I have to say.
The risotto?
Yeah.
You're doing a great job.
Thanks. Oh, we didn't have the chocolate chips yet. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter.
We're going to chop up the chocolate. Robert Schmidt.
So it calls for 8 ounces of like I think it was a 60% ratio on the dark chocolate. We did it with chocolate chips. It was perfectly fine, really good. This time around, Brian bought some Ghirardelli chocolate squares and makes it to see if it's a little bit easier for chopping. So we'll see.
60% cocoa. Robert Schmidt, what time should the rice burner be at? Just low simmer. So a low, maybe depending on your burner, maybe a little higher than low, but just should be just a low simmer.
Oh, and your oven's at 350. I don't think I said that either. Wow, I'm winning on this one. Sorry. Should have a little sip of wine.
Have a little sip of wine. All right, so that looks good. Now you're gonna chop
Some
chocolate.
All right. So this should be a little easier.
Brian Bell's watching.
Hey, Brian Bell.
Did I say Chip Wheeler's watching?
You did.
Okay. What all have you added to the cookie? Sarah Crow was asking. So in the cookie right now, no flour is in this cookie. So like I said before. So this is really simple. It's actually technically all wet ingredients, except for cocoa is not a wet ingredient, but sugar is technically a wet ingredient. But you have powdered sugar, which is you have 2.5 cups of powdered sugar, 3/4 cup of cocoa powder, and then 1 teaspoon of salt. We whisk that together to get the lumps out. Then we added 2 egg whites, 1 full egg, and the 6 tablespoons of cooled brown butter. So we browned the butter, set it aside, cooled it down, and then added it to this dish. And now he's chopping up some little chocolate chunks. Doing a great job doing that. And then you can add nuts. We're going to add some slivered almonds to it. You can add walnuts, pecans, whatever you want. No nuts at all. You can go crazy with this, but it's like a brownie in that way. It's the edges of the brownie in cookie form.
In cookie form. I mean, what else can you ask for me? Come on. And then get topped with some big chunky sea salt in the end.
Yes.
Before you bake it. Is anyone else making the cookies with me? done with chopping the chocolate.
They just threw mini chocolate chips in there.
Oh, that was smart. We didn't think about that. I'm looking at it. It's looking okay. I'm going to give it a little stir.
Aubrey says she wishes she was making cookies with us. Carolyn Cooper says she is making the cookies.
Yay! I'm not
Yay.
alone. Okay, good. Chicken stock to this. Is Dave being your sous chef, Carolyn?
Chris Foster says Robert is on the cookies.
Oh yeah.
He's on the risotto duty.
Oh, and did we text them thank you? We got birthday cookies. Okay.
Yes, they said.
So every year for our birthdays, they're the most amazing people.
Yes. They sent us cookies. Robert and Christopher, thank you so much. They were delicious. And so he ate his, I ate mine. Well, actually, I still have a few left.
You do have a few left.
Not too many.
Not too many. I got a chocolate chip cookie that was bomb.
I didn't get this way for nothing.
And Brian got a sugar cookie that was topped with a lemony lavender icing.
Yes. Lemon lavender.
Yeah, so good.
Marcus is on.
Hey, Marcus. How did Larry's haircut turn out? He cut his hair, I think, this morning or last night? You cut my hair.
I do. I always have.
Yep.
Well, not always.
Not always, but since
we
I've known you.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually due for a haircut. It's getting a little...
Yeah, it's getting a little shady.
A little shady.
I'm going to go short this time. I'm just going to, like, spike it. Like when we first met.
I'm not skinny enough for a spiky haircut right now. Okay.
Marcus said hi.
Oh, good, you are going to post a picture.
It looks fine.
Okay.
Marcus said it looks fine. I will post pics today. Good. Fantastic. We miss you guys as well.
I'm just going to add all this to it.
Yep. Throw in the little chocolate chunks.
Am I still making my mother nervous with my knife skills?
I'm going to eat a piece of chocolate.
Just wait, there's one more onion I get to chop. And then add, it's about a cup of chopped nuts, but like he said, we're doing the slivered almonds. So if you want to stir that for me, sous chef.
Absolutely.
I will wash my hands and stir my risotto.
Oh, look at that. Fantastic.
So I think we said all together, the cook time pretty much on the risotto is going to run you about 40 minutes after all is said and done. So it is a little time consuming, but yet it's so simple and yet very impressive for having people over for dinner, you know.
What did you do with the parchment paper?
I did not put it away. I think it's on the dining room table. Yes, it's right.
Alright, we're going to scoop some dough onto a cookie sheet. We're only going to do half this, we'll do the rest of it later for the sake of the show. We're going to line our cookie sheet with parchment paper.
So, a little funny joke. I have been asking my husband for probably like a year. I'm like, we should get some new baking sheets. And he's like, why? I mean, you just cook on them, it's no big deal. And then we started this thing, and he was like, so I was thinking, maybe I get some new baking sheets.
Whatever.
We'll just cover with parchment paper. Wash my knife.
This is different than the parchment paper I use at work. what did it say? 2 inches apart.
2 inches apart, because they will like spread as they start to bake.
Little teaspoon dollops. How's risotto?
It's looking good. I'm thinking it's getting to a place where I got a little more liquid to it. How's everyone else's risotto looking? Hopefully as tasty as this one. Nancy, are you guys cooking with us tonight too?
All right.
Oh, that looks so much different than it did yesterday.
Yes, it does.
Cool the butter first. Melt it, brown it, let it cool. That is the secret to that cooking.
Joe says, come on, stir boy, no slacking off. Thank you.
I'm on it.
No, I think he was talking to me.
Oh, well, stir boy.
I was the stir boy.
Oh, you weren't the stir boy.
I was stirring for the cookie dough.
And then probably the highlight of this cookie for me is that I get to now go over it with some, we use a sea salt. This is a really thick sea salt. So I'm just going to add just a couple little flakes. So with parchment paper, you don't have to spray it?
No. That's the beauty of parchment paper.
Yay. See? The more you know.
Little chunky sea salt. So Nancy says she is cooking with us, but not the cookies. Too much multitasking. So
I was afraid of that for myself as well. I was like, I'm throwing a lot at me for the first and only time.
You're doing a great job.
I think my mom would be proud of my salty.
I decided that this was a great thing to do because risotto takes so long with really, just a little bit of constant stirring that we could do something in between time. So that's why we decided to make some cookies. Because it is my birthday after all.
So this is going to go in for 6 to 8 minutes. I'm going to kind of cut the difference right now and say 7, since the dough's a little different this time around.
Yeah, you can always take a look at it.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. So we're going to stir the stock a little bit. Do you want to give it a taste?
Yeah. I think we can turn up the heat just a little bit.
Turn it a little bit.
It's not really simmering. Yeah, we have a ways to go on that.
Okay. Should I add a little more liquid?
Yep. Sarah asked about the oven temp. It's 350.
350. 350.
350?
Oh.
425.
Shoot. Should we take them out? Shoot. Do you have a grab out of it?
We'll just change it.
425. Wow. So sorry. Start. Okay. Sorry about that.
So that was oven temp 425. Mara, I bought a huge pack of pre-cut brown parchment paper. Great investment. Yes, it is. Christopher Foster said, a little bit of constant stirring. Brian Heck is watching.
Hi, Brian. Our neighbor. Okay, so we're going to start with poaching our salmon, no?
Yes. Nancy, Kara says that that we aren't doing the cookies because of the calories.
Yes, 425.
With being quarantined, the extra sugar. Well, yes. I mean, we probably wouldn't help much with trying to stay in shape. We've given up on trying to stay in shape, so.
At least until, I don't know, summertime when we get on a bike or something. It's just still too cool here. Yes, 425, Sarah. Sorry about that. Okay, so should I dice my onion first, or... Yeah, dice the onion first, right?
Yes.
Okay. Or slice it.
Slice it. We're going to do nice long slices on this.
So I just go like this, right?
Yep, but again, you're going to follow the curve of the onion. So just... Yep. Beautiful.
Sarah's probably like, you're killing me, Marc. Don't worry, next week everything will go back to normal.
keep going before you finish.
Oh.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Now, if did you already turn the?
Nope, I never turned it. I left it. Nope, I left it right on the same side. I didn't turn it.
Okay.
Because you said that you normally wouldn't turn it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just get rid of that.
There you go. Brenda says we love watching you guys together. See, I did good.
Okay, so I'm going to turn this on.
Yep.
Medium heat, right?
Medium heat.
And then, what are we adding to this?
We're going to put just a little bit of olive oil in the pan. About 2 tablespoons worth. Then you're going to throw the onion in there.
I'm thinking I should probably add a little more liquid, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
In there for now.
See how much fun this is? He was so nervous and didn't want to do this.
And so far, I took an hour to chop an onion, and I got the temperature wrong in the oven, so yay! All right.
So with this, we're doing 2 fillets, and you know, we could have done just a quarter of an onion. I don't mind a little extra onion because I love onion. So we're leaving it with a half an onion. Half an onion typically would be more for like maybe four fillets, 4 or 5, and then about 2 tomatoes, 1 to 2 tomatoes per fillet, and so we got three Roma tomatoes.
So this was a cool trick I learned yesterday. So with the Roma tomatoes, if you just cut off, you know, to where it starts exposing the inside of it, and then you just squeeze it.
And get all the
seeds out. It's so cool.
So Joe said, I'm confused. When do you mix the cookie into the risotto? Ha ha ha. We're just going to go on from there.
I think he saw me look up because I read that already.
Nancy said it's all good. Richard is watching.
Hi, Richard. Okay.
Fantastic.
So then this we're going to cut in half and then sort of open it up a little bit, and then just do nice, sort of long chunks. So how's that?
And by taking all the seeds and stuff out, you get a nice, you just got working with the meat of the tomato now. So that's good. Joe said that Brenda has banned him from further commentary. Thank you, Brenda. I do appreciate you.
Is that your birthday present?
That's my birthday present. Thank you.
Oh, whatever. He's funny.
Great. I'd like those cooked down for just a little bit longer before you.
Yeah. Do you think my heat's too high, or you think I'm okay? I'm on medium. Should I lower it?
Medium. That's fine.
Okay. Stir the risotto. Should I add a little more liquid?
Yep.
Okay.
they're looking really, really good.
The timer went up, so I did not reset it. Cause
I think they look like they're ready.
so they're getting, like he said, what I kind of dig about this cookie recipe is that it's basically like just the end of the crust around a brownie. So, but as a cookie. So that's kind of how you know when they're good.
So I'm going to take these out of the oven. Ah, look at those.
Oh, those are pretty. Okay.
And then we're going to just finish them off with just a little bit of sea salt.
I think the onion's good. So add the tomato, babe. What do you think?
Yeah, add the tomato.
Okay. And then
we're going to set that aside. And let them cool. Perfect.
we're going to let that kind of soften up a little bit. How's everyone
Sarah
else
said
doing?
that your mom says that you're doing a good job.
Thanks, Mama.
Yeah, let's taste it. We got some tasting spoons. It should be nice and creamy. That's good. It's very good.
Should we add a little liquid to it, or?
No,
Okay.
no. So, as you can see, he's done a great job. It's got a nice creaminess to it, and nice and thick and starchy. So that's the way risotto should be. And then we're going to finish that off by adding in
Our salmon. How long does it poach for? I don't
it's
know.
done.
Okay. So go if it looks like your salmon's cooked, turn it off. You're good.
And you can tell because it'll have a nice firmness to it, and then that way you know it's done. So our salmon is done, our risotto is done. We're just going to finish that off with some Romano cheese. That'll give it a real, cheesy creaminess.
And then we'll stir in our fresh herbs after that as well.
Carolyn Cooper says you're back. Yay! Yes, yay. What happened while it was off? Not much. We just continued to stir the risotto. We didn't add anything to it. We're going to now add in our herbs and the Romano cheese. I don't know where we cut off as far as poaching the salmon, but it's just the white wine, and then we added the salmon. Let that steam and poach, and once it's firm, it's done. So nothing really happened while we were off.
No, everything was pretty much wrapping up. So
yeah. And then we missed the salmon part. Sorry about that.
So that all cut off altogether. Oh,
yes.
Sorry.
So we'll figure that out. So essentially what we did was we sauteed a little bit of onion, gave it a couple of minutes on the saute, added in some sliced tomato, and let that kind of cook down a little bit. And then we added the white wine, about a half a cup per fillet. So if you have more than 2 fillets, you'll want a larger pan. And you're going to put the white wine in there, deglaze the pan. Any kind of sticky bits from the onion that's stuck to the pan or anything like that, that's going to release from the pan once you add the white wine. And then you're going to put the salmon fillets on top of all of that and put a lid on it and let that steam. And that's how you're cooking the salmon. And what's great about poaching salmon is that it's really hard to overcook it because of the fact that all that juices is always going to stay nice and tender and succulent in the dish. So it's a great way to cook any fish for that matter, to poach it. So it's nice and firm to the touch, which is great. Look at that, our risotto. It's got nice creaminess. So that's awesome. Left off on the tomatoes and onions. Okay.
Perfect. All right, I think we're ready to plate this bad boy, no?
We are ready to plate this.
Okay. So
Grab a spoon.
Yeah. Okay. So we're just gonna do a nice, healthy spoonful of the a little prettier than I just did of the risotto.
Beautiful.
We'll clean that up. We'll edit that in post. And then we will take a salmon fillet and just put that right on top.
Right down into the risotto.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And then I'm going to take my spoon that I used for...
Okay, I was going to grab that from you.
Oh, no. And then I'm just going to use the spoon that I used for the risotto. And I'm going to take just a nice healthy spoonful of those tomatoes and onions.
Yes, once the risotto has a soft texture to it, and it looks nice and thick and creamy, you can add the herbs and the cheese at that point. Yes.
And then we'll do again a nice spoonful of those veggies that we sauteed in there, and a nice little spoonful of your poaching broth.
Yes. And there it is.
Finish it with just a little bit of salt and pepper.
Yep.
We'll just put a little pepper on top.
Beautiful.
And a little bit of this coarse sea salt. You don't need a lot. Like I said, you really cook down that chicken stock, so it just kind of finishes it off.
And there it is. You've got a classic risotto with a white wine poached salmon over top, which is fantastic. We've got our tiny salty chocolate cookies, nice and thin and tastes like brownie, which is fantastic. So happy birthday to me. Thank you, everyone.
Cheers. We'll see you next week.